Welcome to Rider Club Radio, the podcast all about Kamen Rider. I'm your host, Jeff.
And as usual, I'm Liam.
And today we're going to start out by talking about Kamen Rider Drive, episode 29.
Whoa, are you telling me we're going to start out talking about the episode? What a fucking shocker.
What happened in today's episode, Liam?
So Go has been propositioned by Brain to join the bad guys, and he refuses, obviously. And they start fighting, presumably. He transforms to beat him up. But then it cuts away before you see what happens.
You get to see the fight.
You don't get to see it. He transforms, and it goes away.
No, you get to see him fight with him. They tussle a bit.
Do they
and
tussle?
It actually looks like Go's gonna win for a few minutes.
Holy shit, I don't remember that.
Yeah, they cut away before the fight finishes, but...
Okay, they fight. He transforms and they fight.
Did you watch this episode, Lee?
No, I've just been reading other people's things. So the Special Crimes Investigation Unit is, at this time, researching a string of bank robberies where someone gets killed every time. The guy robs a bank, and then he shoots somebody on the scene. And they're like, what could it be? What could it be? And it turns out, every bank robbery, all the killings of the bank robbery were of people who were present at a bank robbery that happened a long, long time ago where Shinosuke's father...
12 years ago.
12 years ago, where Shinosuke's father got killed. And they were all there, so somebody's tracking down all the witnesses and shooting them. And the chief is like, oh, Shinosuke, your dad was killed in this bank robbery, but the details are a bit fuzzy. You know, nobody knows what actually happened. So obviously the witnesses who were there know something important, and the Roidmudes are trying to pick them off. They know that 001 did the actual murder, I'm sure, but that's for later. So, Brain wants them all dead. He's sending off a Roidmude to fight him. And Drive fights the monster of the fortnight after a bunch of investigation shit. Drive catches up with the monster of the fortnight. He catches him, he fights him, and then Go comes out. And Drive's like, alright, Go's here, he's gonna help. And then Go transforms, and he's evil, and he tries to fight Drive. And Drive's like, oh, what the fuck? And then Chase appears, and he joins the fight. And he's like, why are you... Chase, of all people, this is cool. He's like, why are you people fighting each other? You're supposed to be protecting the people that the Roidmute is attacking. And Drive's like, oh my god, he's right, oh my god. So, they get the people out of there, they escape, the monster of the fortnight survives, and Go is still evil, and all this shit's fucked up, and then that's the end of the episode.
Chase actually didn't arrive after Go arrived. He was just fucking standing there for like 5 minutes, not doing anything. Like, hey, there's pretty cool fights going on
Chase gets there first and stares at the scene for a little bit before he's needed. Jeff, what did you think of Kamen Rider Drive episode 29?
There were a lot of, like, little dangling strings put in front of our face in this episode.
Really, yeah.
Like, little tidbits of what's to come. And I actually gotta say, I've enjoyed previous episodes more, but this is still keeping my interest in a way that Early Drive did not.
Well, like we've been saying, these past, 10 episodes, unlike Early Drive, shit's happening now, so thumbs up.
My favorite part in the entire episode is the bait and switch with Captain Nira, where it seems like he's finally grown a heart, and he's going to allow the Special Investigations team to investigate. And it turns out he just sent them to do menial labor for the actual heroes, the First Division.
The SCU is like, please let us help with the bank robbery. He's like, oh, okay, I'll let you help. And then they're just fucking pouring coffee and stapling and...
running to get lunch for everybody.
Yeah.
What a shithead.
Nira is consistently a dickhole, and he's great.
I remember seeing you tweet that you were worried that Go was being mind-controlled, and you are absolutely right to worry, because he's being mind-controlled.
What made it really obvious for me, he appears all pissed off, and he's got his head down, he's like, oh, I'm really angry. And that, you could kind of maybe get away with not being maybe he's just super pissed off, but he doesn't say, let's transform, he just says transform,
yeah,
and that's the kick, that's like, okay, it's not him. Fuck!
That was absolutely what gave it away. That and that he never says anything else.
Yeah. That's such a cop-out. I don't like it.
He should be giving some sort of, angry speech about how he was betrayed or some shit. At least make us think that he isn't mind-controlled.
Yeah, he could give a thing about, if I gotta work with the Roidmutes to destroy other Roidmutes, then I'll do it. I don't know, anything but him just being mind-controlled. I would accept even a stupid motivation. Because mind control is just cheap.
Yeah, I wanted the straight-up stupid Japanese drama, like, behind-the-scenes thing. Like, he's just like, you know what? My father was evil, so now I have to be evil.
Yeah.
It's my fate.
I would have taken that as long as it was character development and not brain control. I don't like it. I don't like that whole...
Well, that is brain's power.
I shouldn't be surprised. I guess I'm not.
That was frustrating. You're right. That frustrated me a bit too. But I can't fault them too much. I mean, the only way they could have gotten Go to work with the Roid Muse is by destroying his entire character motivation.
I guess.
So maybe it was better that he got brainwashed.
Yeah, that sucks though. Do you think maybe they're trying to lead us to believe he's been brainwashed so they can pull the old switcheroo?
You know, during almost any other series, I'd think you're full of shit and that they would never do anything like that because it's too much effort. But this is a show that had Q acting weird for like 6 episodes so that they could reveal that he was a Roid Mute sometimes.
Yeah, they like to play the long game at times.
So yeah, I could actually see that happening. I wouldn't hold out hope for it, but I could see it happening.
I'll be very impressed if that turns out to be the case. And I really hope that the whole Go being evil thing, whether it's brainwashing or not, I really hope that continues beyond this two-parter arc.
Yeah.
That's a really big problem I have with the two-parter thing, and I don't like that Kamen Rider series, the newer ones, stick with the two-parter system so strongly, because it means stuff that you want to see explored is relegated to 2 episodes, and stuff that you hate is stretched out into 2 episodes when it should just be 1.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't like it.
If I gave previous episodes like an A rank, like I gave them A pluses or A's, I would give this one like a strong B minus.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it.
It was a pretty good episode. We got little tidbits dangled in front of us, and there were some legitimately funny moments. But it felt like an episode that was there to introduce the concept of Go being evil and to tease at Shinosuke's father and his death. But we didn't really get a whole lot out of it for what it was.
Yeah, we said in the last episode, we were like, oh, the preview, we're going to meet the guy that killed Shinosuke's father. But now we go to this new episode, and they're like, oh, he might have been killed by this bank robber, but probably not. The details are fuzzy. There's a secret. So no, it was 001. It's always been 001. Come on.
I did really love the scene in the hallway where Shinosuke and 001 meet without Shinosuke knowing who he is.
Yes, I like that a lot too. There's just
that was a great moment.
There's like a little interaction that's teasing things to come. I loved it.
So, what did you think of the episode then? I gave my B minus rating.
I've already slapped my biggest beef on the table about this episode. That's the fucking mind control. But so we've been through that. You know what I think about that. Other than that, I mean, it's not a standout episode. We already knew Go was going to go over to the villains. We already knew they were going to not do the thing with Tamari's dad. They were going to string that out, and it would end up being 001. So it's like, at least the show isn't slowing down and turning into a show about nothing again. It's moving, but it's
There is one thing that I really enjoyed from this episode. I've said that 3 times now, but there's a third thing I enjoyed, is that a lot of monsters in Kamen Rider end up having really repetitive styles of powers. I can shoot guns out of my fucking dick or whatever. Or, I have a big sword. But this guy has the power to unlock things and open them.
Oh.
And they use them very, neatly in this episode.
I almost forgot to talk about, yeah. There's a bit where Shinosuke's near a car, and he opens up all the car doors and smacks them. or he's close to an open pipe, and he opens up the valve in the pipe so it sprays hot steam on him. There's a lot of...
He just keeps opening doors over and over to shoot him around like pinballs.
Yeah.
That was great.
It's the JoJo rule of the weirder your power is, the cooler it is when someone actually knows how to use it. You could have something
it's true. It was straight JoJo, now that I think about it. That could have been a stand.
That is absolutely a stand power. But yeah, villain was cool. Brainwashing was cheap. Not a bad episode. Not as good as recent, but I give it a thumbs up.
You gonna give it a grade? We're gonna just start doing that shit?
Grade? Straight B.
Straight B.
Straight B.
Not a gay B, a straight B.
not a B plus nor a B minus.
Well, that wasn't the only Kamen Rider Drive thing that we finally got this week.
Yes, Type SCU, Type Special Crimes Unit, came out as part of the Drive DVD box set #1, which is a really quick episode where everyone wonders about how the Special Crimes Unit started, and Krim says, oh, it has to do with this murder that happened a year ago. And it's this professor...
Yeah, he's like, hey everybody, let's play a fucking game called Solve the Murder, and then I'll tell you the story.
We'll make a fun Sunday afternoon out of it. See if you can catch this unsolved killer.
So they open up a cold case because a belt told them to. And they go about trying to investigate this case that's been closed for a year since the global freeze happened. It happened on the night of the global freeze before it happened. And surprise, it involved the guy that
the fucking
was in
DVD Presento man that appears in every extra Drive thing. The criminal psychologist.
The criminologist.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is in every DVD Presento, you're right.
He begged and pleaded to be in the show. He's like, please, please, please. They're like, alright, we'll cut you a deal. We'll put you in every single supplementary material. We'll work you in somehow, but you can't be on the show. He's like, oh, okay. Alright.
He was on the show, though, for one episode.
Okay, he got like 2 seconds of screen time, but that doesn't count. That's extra level.
And then his daughter was on an entire 2-episode plot. How fucked up is that?
His daughter got more screen time than him. But there's this professor that creates a machine that will eliminate mortality, which is really obviously something that lets your brain be put into a computer. That's what it seems like. And he gets killed mysteriously on the night of the global freeze, and the DVD present guy and the professor's assistant, who mixes his meds, both come forward and say, oh, I killed him. So, it's a big mystery, and that's the end of the first episode, because it's going to be like a 3-episode thing, I believe. There's going to be a new episode with every Blu-ray block. Fuck me! Every Blu-ray box set is going to have a new episode, so...
And I believe, as I'm sure everybody else did when they were watching this, if you notice, Brain holds up his dumb little iPad that he's constantly carrying around with him, and he says, this is all your fault, Professor Banno.
See, that's... I hope...
While he's looking at a screen that has like an animated GIF of a triangle floating in cyberspace.
Holy shit, you've just jogged my memory. I just had one of those moments where Tamari solves the case and all the pictures fly around his head. I just remembered today in the episode featured that same iPad with the... Remember, Mach is fighting Brain.
Yeah, that is how they stop the fight.
He's about to finish him and he shows him.
Shows it
oh,
to
man.
him.
This got layers.
It's like ogres, man. It's got layers.
Yeah, I totally forgot that they fought. I thought he just transformed and left. Yeah, but I really don't like, because it seems like they're about to reveal a really big plot thing, that Banno put his brain inside of a computer before he died. And I really hope they don't relegate that plot development to a fucking DVD present.
Oh, come on now. This is something it's coming along with the box sets. It's not like something that you only get if you go on opening night to fucking the summer movie or whatever. It's something that everyone who gets the series should have access to. So I have no problem with them adding onto the show, like, in a real way, instead of just like, hey, a criminal escaped and he's a Kamen Rider, I guess?
But it's after the fact. Like, you buy the Blu-ray release after the show. Like, they're gonna get the last episode after the show's done. So what...
That's not true.
Yeah, like the last...
It'll be a 3-part thing, and it'll be the next to last box set of the show that has the last part in it.
I hope you're right.
I'm cool with that, and it's obviously linking back heavily to the show because, you know, of what happened in today's episode with that iPad.
Yeah, a lot of good timing on that release. The iPad is coming into the plot very nicely.
I bet that Apple is psyched that the whole focus of the series is now on the Apple iPad. Get your own today.
Well, those toy sales have apparently been weak in the second quarter. They gotta show off Apple a lot for the extra money.
Yeah, that is something that we learned this week as well, a little bit of Rider news. Apparently, according to sources, the Kamen Rider Drive's toys are doing the worst out of any recent Rider series. As a matter of fact, Decade is known for having really bad toy sales. and Drive is doing worse than Decade.
Well, we'll save discussion of this for the news bit on the docket. But for now, what did you think of Type SCU?
Type SCU. What did I think of it? You know...
It's only like 10 minutes, so it is kind of hard to formulate a strong opinion on it. It's really quick.
I really actually am psyched to see the next two parts. Like, it's obviously supplementary material, but it matters for a change. And I'm excited about that. Because usually, like I said, supplementary material is absolutely pointless to the series. It tells you nothing new, and it's there to, like... It's like effects wankery. You're there to see your favorite hero jump around and pose.
Yeah.
But we're actually getting a mystery, a real mystery that we don't get the answer to in the first 5 minutes of the episode and then watch them run around like idiots trying to figure out.
That's actually what I was going to say, is you have two people come forward, confess to the murder, and they are both equally in a position to do it. It's not really obvious which one of them has done it. So I think that's cool. It was a good...
And they might even pull the rug out from under us and just say, you know what, a third person did it. A Roidmute did it.
Oh, that would be really pulling the rug out from under us if he fucking got killed by a Roidmute. Fucking Shinosuke.
Like everyone else in the whole series.
Just end it with like Shinosuke did it or something. Really, really fuck with it. I'd like that.
Really? That's what you would like?
I don't know.
That is the worst idea I've ever heard.
It'd be unexpected. I'd appreciate that.
I would not. Toei, you know I'm your bigger fan, so please do what I say.
That's true. Jeff has been into this business longer than me.
I'm actually the one who got you into it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Thank you, Jeff.
So, if you would like to blame someone for this horrible podcast, you can blame me.
I'm merely a bystander. But yeah, if you haven't seen Type SCU, Overtime's got it. It's pretty good. Check it out. Follow it with interest.
Absolutely check it out. Do not skip this one, because it's actually going to have ramifications on the series, it looks. I mean, it already kind of has.
Yeah, it's got implicational ramifications right now.
And we might get some actual ramifications, which would be nice.
Ooh, we'll see. We'll wait and see. I'm interested. News. You ready for news?
I was ready for news 5 minutes ago when I started talking about it. Let's go.
Would you like to reveal the thing that happened the morning after we recorded last week's podcast? I know you're hyped about it.
We certainly had good timing for that shit, didn't we? We hit stop on the podcast, and immediately our screens lit up with the news that there's going to be a Gaim Gaiden 2 starring No One Cares Duke and the best rider to ever come out of Gaim, Kamen Rider Knuckle. And I'm fucking psyched.
Second best rider.
First best rider.
But yeah, ordinarily I wouldn't care, because Gaim Gaiden 1 was just, but like, we're getting a Zack side story. Fuck yeah.
That's what I wanted to begin with, was Zack to get some screen time, and now they're like, hey, Coda's never coming back, we gotta use everybody now.
Yeah. I like it.
I am psyched. I don't know what's gonna happen in it. I don't know what the fuck is, like, the story's gonna be. I don't know where the crossover's gonna be. I don't even care about the first half of it when it's about Duke. All I care about is Zack.
Hell yeah. They haven't given any details about it other than it's gonna be Duke and Zack. So, that's that.
I bet, I actually stake my reputation, of which I have none, on the fact that Janochi is going to be in it as well to play a part.
I hope against hope that Janochi will have any part in it. Do you think maybe, this is shooting for the stars, but do you think maybe every rider from Gaim is going to get a Gaiden?
That would be great. And you know what the next Gaiden should be then?
What?
It should be Orin and Janochi.
Yes! I would be right behind Orin and Janochi. Because they're a duo. You could just have the whole thing be one part.
Yeah, I would watch the shit out of that.
Hell
I would fly to Japan yet again to pick it up.
Just like we do every week.
Yeah, I am excited about it. We don't know jack shit about it, but I am super duper psyched.
Me too. Next up, we got more details about Drive's summer movie. It's going to feature a new car called the Nex Trideron, which looks just like a normal-ass car with a Tron paint job. And it's going to be apparently called Surprise Future, and it's going to be about some new rider coming to the past from the future to destroy Drive or something, because the Drive driver is apparently going to bring about the end of the world. So that's
which you might recognize as a story that's been done in Kamen Rider movies before.
What else did that?
Well, don't ask me specifics. It sounds familiar. I'll say that.
Pulling bullshit out of your ass with no examples again.
Yeah, well, I had an example when I first saw that a few days ago, but we only record once a week, so fuck it.
Yeah,
I'll just pull it right out of my ass again.
Just take Jeff's word for it.
Anyway, it's actually not a Rider story now that I'm thinking of. It's just a really fucking cliche story.
Yeah, it's kind of like Terminator.
Actually, you might recognize it as the story of Sonic the Hedgehog 06.
Oh my god, that's... Oh my fucking god, you're not wrong.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What a parallel to draw, eh? And you're like
so
9 years.
Sorry.
You're like 9 years out of date too.
Oh, I'm sorry, everyone.
I hope.
But yeah, the next Trideron looks like the fucking Tron guy's car. Like, he went out, he bought a kind of a nice car with his YouTube money or whatever, and he just fucking painted that shit up like Tron and sold it to the Japanese.
Well, you know why? It just looks like a normal car. It's because it has to be street legal.
Which the Trideron is not.
Trideron is not street legal. Everybody probably already knows this, but if you look at all the scenes where they're driving the Trideron, they don't drive it on normal streets. It's always on, like, a closed track. In those, like, some back road surrounded by trees and shit, because the Trideron is just too tricked out with guns. They can't take it anywhere. It's just too wacky. So I guess they just needed a car that was, like, a normal car that you can take with you places. I understand.
They probably, like, blew so much money on tricking the Trideron out that they were like, you know what, we're not doing this shit again.
Not for a fucking movie. Why would they waste their time?
Let's get a bunch of fucking stencils, and we'll trick this car out the old-fashioned way.
Do you think we're going to see Type Next, finally?
Do you think Type Next is going to... Well, it's the next Trideron, so maybe. I would hate to see Type Next be just like a movie form, though.
I don't think it's ever going to appear in the show. I think we've solidly confirmed that it's going to be Formula, we got now, and then Trideron, and that's going to be it. I really don't think we're going to see Type Next, in the show, at least.
Yeah, you're probably right. That's a shame, though.
Yeah. I'm curious as to what it's going to look like.
Every Rider needs a movie-only form. That's just the way it works now.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, everybody, ever since Type Next was discovered, because it's really early to find it. You just have to put the Mach signal bike into the drive brace thing. So it's like, it was discovered really early, and everyone's been saying, like, oh, it's going to be a combination between drive and Mach, but that ended up being dead heat. So, like, what's it going to look like? But now it's a movie form, so it's just going to be a black repaint. I'm sorry. It's just going to be like a blue Type Speed.
Dude, blue Type Speed would look pretty fucking sick.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Type Speed's just a slick design. Like, is there any color it doesn't work with?
Just do Type Speed in all the colors. I'd be fine with that.
Just make a Sentai team.
I'd watch that.
Yeah, Toei, call us.
What's next on the news? Do we have any more?
Oh yeah, there was a very, very vague, very unsubstantiated rumor floating around that the next Rider series is going to be fashion-themed?
Yeah, that rumor, apparently, at least is rumored to come from 2chan, the Japanese original that 4chan is based on, which is known to have a lot of different spoilers for tons of stuff. Video games, anime, children's toy commercials.
Apparently the post that made it does not exist anymore, but the person that made the post is the same person that predicted shift cars in Drive, so who knows? Might be an impersonator, might be real. Fashion themed, though. How do you think that would work?
See, I don't know, because the main form of a rider always looks fairly good, and every other form looks like shit, so fashion has to all look good.
You think it has to. But
That's
Japanese
true.
people in fashion, I mean, sometimes have a weird relationship.
Yeah, think about how many leather vests are going to be on top of this suit.
Oh, God. What's it going to be like? Hat form? Shoe form? Fingerless glove form? Like, what's it going to be? What?
We laugh at that shit, but then imagine if this podcast existed before Gaim came out, and, like, there's going to be fucking banana form and, like, mango form.
Fucking dumb. You know what it could be? I just had this idea now. What if it's like Forza, and it's like you have the fire gloves, the electricity gloves, whatever, and then you have like the the earth vest, the wood vest, and you mix and match, like, hat, boots, pants.
You know, I could see that happening, actually.
Yeah, like I said, lots of interchangeability between riders, and they could use each other's clothes.
Ugh. You know, I would be really psyched to see, like, Super One-style gloves come back anyway.
Hell
That
yeah.
would be pretty sick.
That would be the movie thing. Crossover with Super One, pull him out of jail.
For those who don't know, Super One was kind of a ladies' man.
A little too much of a ladies' man.
He had a racket going where he would, find lonely housewives and trick them into giving him all their money. And then just disappearing.
Yeah. They
And eventually he was found out, and now he spends the rest of his life in prison, I guess, because of Japan's justice system.
Is it the rest of his life, really? I thought it was only going to be a few years.
No.
Okay.
No, it's
like
not
life for fraud. That's like, geez, that's like some Phoenix Wright shit.
It's just a joke. I don't know how long he's in for, but he's in.
He's not coming out anytime soon. Poor Super One.
So we don't know what the next Rider series is actually going to be like. That is the most unsubstantiated of rumors, but it got grabbed onto real hard and passed around.
Yeah, take it with a grain of salt. But if it's right, then come back to me and tell me I was right, and it makes me feel really good. Thank you.
And if it was wrong, come back to me and tell me I was right, and Liam is a piece of shit. No one likes him.
They already do that like every week, though. I don't need more of that.
More news, the coolest news, maybe, sort of. We saw a leaked image of Type Trideron.
Ooh, Sans helmet.
Yeah, there's no helmet, of course, so we don't really know how fucked up the head can be, but the body actually looks pretty good for what it is.
It's a very bright red and white. I like the red and white color scheme.
It's kind of a strange red, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't mind. I like the look.
I think it could look good. It really depends on if the helmet has like a fucking sideways spoiler down the middle of the face or something. Who knows?
The helmet's going to be the clincher, but the bodysuit is fine. And
it's from far away, and I remember seeing the first pictures of like Kamen Rider Chaser from far away, and I thought it looked ridiculous. And seeing it for the first time, I was like, oh, I guess it's not that bad. And it grew on me. So
I was the opposite.
Happen again.
I was the opposite with Chaser. I saw the far away thing, like shots, and it looked like a nice, sleek white suit, like a sort of mock-ish type suit. And I was like, oh, I like that. It's pretty cool. More white than I was expecting, but whatever. And then I saw it up close, and I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of shit. I still haven't warmed up to Chaser. I don't like it.
You have bad taste. Also, you lied to all of our fans on Twitter.
What did I say?
You said, if you're ever depressed, just think that Type Technique will probably never be used again.
I can't tell the future. I saw the preview image that Overtime had up, and I was like, fuck! I thought we were in the clear, for real, but no, he uses it for like 10 seconds in this episode. Piece of shit. 10
eye-bleeding seconds we had to deal with that.
The worst, most agonizing moment of my life. Unexpected trauma is always difficult to deal with. Type Speed shows up. Ugh.
Type Speed?
Type Technique, fuck me.
Wow, I was just about to slap the taste out of your mouth. Type Speed is the coolest looking suit in the series.
My proper nouns are just fucked tonight.
Besides Mach. I think Mach is the coolest looking in the series.
Mach's really good. I like his scarf. I think Type Speed's a little better.
Bad taste.
Ugh,
I think you'll find as you continue listening to this podcast that Liam likes everything that's bad and hates everything that's great.
No, that's not true. In fact, it's the opposite.
Alright, yeah. Alright, is there any more news?
Yeah, there's a few. Like we were saying earlier, Drive's toy sales are apparently tanked in the second quarter.
This is also somewhat of a rumor.
Yeah, this is a bit of a... Like, toy sales are always a bit vague. Toy sale news from all the way from Japan. There's usually some numbers we don't see. But this is what we're getting here. Apparently Drive's toy sales are trash.
Yeah.
And I'm not surprised.
Apparently they're trash. Well, yeah, we talked about this in one of the first episodes, about how the toys are fucking shit.
Shift cars are fucking lame.
It's like the cars are pointless by themselves. There's really no reason to get them unless you get the belt, and the belt comes with the shift brace.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't just have like a cool belt sitting on your shelf or whatever that you can mess with. You fucking have to have a dumb brace sitting next to it as well. And of course I'm coming at this from like the pasty American fan of Kamen Rider.
Well, apparently the Japanese agree with you, so...
But, of course, for children, that's a part that you can lose. And it probably costs more than a regular belt, I would imagine, because it comes with 2 separate pieces.
Yeah, you might be right.
But it's probably mostly because the shift cars don't do anything by themselves.
They're just little toy cars. Like, there's nothing we haven't seen before in regular toy sets that you see all the time. It's the same with the Tokuja things. They're just little toy trains. I don't know, they're just kind of lame.
And children love toy cars and toy trains, but that's not really the focus of the series. It's not like cool toy car action or whatever. Like, the toy cars are there, but they don't do all that much.
If I wanted to buy a toy car, I would buy a Hot Wheels thing for like 50 cents. If I want to buy a Kamen Rider toy, it should be this ridiculous, fucking ludicrous gadget that's got 20 buttons on it and flips and turns inside out, and that's the coolness of it. Even the older series, like even early Heisei stuff had toys that did more than this.
Yeah, they had bells and whistles for sure.
Yeah.
Like even the Kuga belt like made noise and spun and shit.
Yeah. I don't know.
But the car just sits there.
I don't know. And if it turns out we're wrong and the toy sales have been stellar or something, then fuck us, I guess. But this is just what we've heard.
And the rumor is that, like I said earlier, the toy sales are the worst since 2010. Like before 2010.
That's rough.
Yeah. And I mean, it's sort of in the shadow of Gaim, which did, like, really well.
Yes, we've said this before as well, but lock seats are fucking cool, so...
There's just something about them. They draw your eye. They make you want them. Like, I still really want a Kurumi lock seat.
Get one of the capsule toy ones that are like $10.
Yeah, I'm going to. I come home, I take my pants off, I throw them out the window. My wallet's in there. You know, I don't want to go outside and get it again.
It's too much effort for Kamen Rider toys. But yeah, if we suck lock seats dicks anymore, it's gonna fall off. So let's get off that. But yeah, those are the toy sales for Drive.
Yeah, next news.
Next news. What do I have here? Oh yeah, last thing I've got. Along with the DVD with the Blu-ray box set that came with Type SCU, there was also a big, well, not that big, but it's like a bunch of concept art for the early monsters in Drive. You got the early monsters of the week, like the camera guy, the painting guy, and stuff. You got Brain and Heart's Roid Mute forms. You got Chaser. You got the generic Roid Mutes. Some nice 2D art. And I believe you were saying, Jeff, that they look better in 2D than in 3D.
Yeah, in 3D you lose a lot of the design because all the colors are sort of muted. They're very similar to one another in, like, hue. So when you see them in 2D, everything's a lot more highlighted. You can see that a lot of work went into these designs, and they're really nice.
Yeah, they're very ornate. They're very detailed. I like them.
And that's sort of something you learn in design school anyway, is the more ornate you make something, the more you're going to have to differentiate between the parts, or it's all going to become a mess.
A big muddy, yeah.
And in 3D, those suits become kind of a mess.
Yeah, because they're moving around. You can't look at them as close.
Heart and Brain might be the exceptions. And of course, like Machine Chaser, their designs look really good in 3D as well. They look better in 2D. Although, actually, Machine Chaser looks better in 3D. I'll say that. But take a look at that gallery. They're really cool.
Yep, that's all these news items, as usual, will be in the blog. So, check those out.
I actually have a news item of my own this time, and we tweeted about it, and I put it on the Tumblr as well.
There was a very excited fan who told us twice. Once on the Tumblr, once on the Twitter, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you for that. But, you might remember me talking before about Kamen Rider Spirits and how it cuts off abruptly with the translation. The translation starts to get really, really bad towards the end of when it's been translated to, and then it just stops. And that's always frustrated the hell out of me. So I want to put big thanks out there to the Tumblr blog Cyborg Hands. It's Cyborg Hands. Go to it. He or she, I have no idea, is translating Kamen Rider Spirits from the point when it cuts off onwards, all the way through Shin Kamen Rider Spirits.
Whoever you are, you're doing God's work.
This is the greatest news for Showa Kamen Rider fans, and for all Kamen Rider fans if you care about, where the series came from. And if you've read any of Spirits, you know it is action-packed and full of drama like any Heisei series. So go and read it.
Yeah, great
You
art.
have no excuse now. It's coming out.
Great art, great action. So much Legendary 7 jerking. It's fantastic. If you like old riders, you'll like Kamen Rider Spirits. It's right up your alley.
Yeah, Cyborg Hands is on, has just finished Chapter 3 of Volume 10. So, they're on their way. So go and read it. I'm right there with you. I'm picking it up as well.
Hell yeah. That's all our news for this week, so you ready for mail?
Oh, I'm always ready for mail, buddy. And we got one of our dreams come true this time around. You might remember in an earlier episode we asked someone to send us 800-point type, fuck you, and our wish came true. A fellow who sent in a message before named Kamen Rider
Oh my god, Takeshi Hongo emailed us back.
sent us 800-point type, fuck you! So thank you.
The best I had it was an experience for me opening this up because this was the night the episode came out. This was like 2 hours after I uploaded it. I was like, I'll check the Gmail, see if we got any early fan mail, and the little preview for it just said "fuck you" in all caps. It didn't get the size across. So I was like, okay, I guess somebody's just pissed off at us or something. I opened it up, and the fucking word "fuck" is like a foot high on my screen. And then I realized it snapped. I was like, oh, okay, I love this person. I see.
I think we actually responded to him and said, I love
Yes.
you. And I'll say it again. Thank you. I love you. But that's not the only email we got. We actually got email of a nicer sort, or a less nice sort, depending on how you look at it, from another Kamen Rider fan named Matt.
Oh, okay.
And Matt says, Hey Jeff and Liam, I'm really loving the podcast. I just got into Kamen Rider late last year with Double and then started following Drive. And it's been neat to be able to listen to a podcast like this along with each episode. I'm glad to be of service.
Yeah.
We appreciate you listening.
Thanks.
We do this anyway in a basement alone, so it's nice that somebody cares.
I'm glad no one can see us. It's really pathetic.
I apologize if you've already discussed this. I know it was on the subreddit. Does that mean, like, subreddit for Kamen Rider, or do we have a subreddit?
Now, when he saw this, I thought the same. I was like, did somebody make a fucking Rider Club Radio subreddit? And I scoured Reddit. I don't have an account there. I don't browse there, so I don't know. Maybe I missed it. But I did not see a Rider Club Radio subreddit.
Okay,
So,
that would be the weirdest shit.
That would be surreal. Anyways, yeah.
But I can't
sure-
remember if you talked about it, but what do you think of the idea, given Dino Charge has gotten praise, about Saban trying to adapt a new Masked Rider series? And which show would you like to see adapted? Saban, keep your fucking greedy hands off of Kamen Rider.
Okay. Imagine that Haim Saban kicks your door down, puts a gun to your head, and says, pick a fucking Kamen Rider series for me to adapt, or I'll blow your brains out and then I'll murder your cat. Which one do you pick?
I would say I have lived a full life, and I will sacrifice myself at the altar of Kamen Rider. You know what I would tell him? I would look at him with the most shit-eating grin I could possibly fucking muster and say, Ryuki.
No! That already happened.
I know, that's why I'd say
Don't make me relive that.
He'd probably just blow my brains out anyway, but I'd get the last laugh. Now, what would you say? Let's start with you.
Oh god, if I could pick any of them?
Yeah.
I'm still in the middle of Kabuto, but Kabuto seems like it's really, really palatable for a Western audience, as I look at it. Because it's got
Yeah, I
like, a
can see
simple...
that.
Its story almost reminds me a little bit of the Avengers. Like, alien invasion, team assembled to fight. They got suits. It's not like a weird biotransformation or anything that's weird to, like, Western superhero fans. I think it pulls off sort of a dark tone that people like with superhero movies, but there's a bit of lighthearted moments. I think Kabuto would do well. I mean, I probably wouldn't watch an English adaptation. I'm not too big into that sort of American toku, but if I had to pick one that would be most good for that sort of thing, I'd say Kabuto.
I would pick Blade because it's already shit.
You're
No, I would pick Blade because it has it already has multiple writers built in, and Saban's really big on having an ensemble cast, so they don't have to hire anyone that actually knows how to act.
Just divide your personality traits up.
The story doesn't matter since he's not going to fucking follow it anyway.
That's true.
The story has like quite a few dark turns and everything, so if they want to do something like that, they can. The suits probably still exist. They could just ship them over from Japan. And the story, if you haven't watched Blade, cover your ears, earmuffs. The ending is kind of sad, so they could even have it be like a sad ending if they feel like being artsy for the first time in their fucking 15-year career doing this.
All I know about Blade's ending is that it involves a bench, and that's supposed to make me feel something, but I don't know, maybe... Maybe when I watch the show eventually I'll have the proper context, but... Yeah, Saban's been at this...
You said like you were fucking hollow inside, like it was supposed to make me feel something, but, nothing does anymore.
Yeah, I look at the old photographs and I just feel empty inside. Saban's not going to change that shit anytime soon. Oh, Saban's been at this for longer than 15 years, mind you. It's been like 20.
Yeah, that's true.
Like 25.
I'm old as fuck.
They've gotten their tendrils deep into Toei.
Yeah, if anyone has seen Saban's first foray into Kamen Rider, Masked Rider,
I'm so sorry.
then you never want them to get their fingers on Kamen Rider again.
Well, hang on. Apparently Dino Charge is pretty good. I have not seen it. I don't watch Power Rangers. Apparently it's pretty good. So who knows? Maybe they're getting some proper people behind it. Maybe they finally decided to, press their pants and, maybe we'll make something good this year. Who knows?
And of course, things have gotten better since then. Even a while back, the last Power Rangers series I remember watching, and I was far too old. I wasn't in the age demographic it was meant for. We're all far too old for what we're talking about here.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about age demographics on a show like this, trust me.
Yeah, but I wasn't in the age demographic of Power Rangers SPD, but it was actually a pretty good show. So maybe things have gotten better over the years. Who knows?
Yeah, I've never seen any Power Rangers ever.
Yeah, what a fuck up, right?
I blew it. I blew an early gateway into Toku.
You did. That was my gateway into it. That and watching old Ultraman episodes on Sci-Fi Channel at midnight.
I was aware of Ultraman. There was a kid at my elementary school who I assume was from Japan who had an Ultraman backpack and an Ultraman t-shirt.
That's so cool.
And I was like, what is that? That looks kind of cool. But I never found out because I wasn't friends with the kid.
Oh, man.
This is sad.
He was the coolest kid in school.
Missed connection with that badass, yeah. Did you watch Dragon Knight? This wasn't Saban, it was, I don't remember the name of the company that did it, but the Kamen Rider Dragon Knight, the Ryuki adaptation, did you watch it?
I watched a little bit of it. Apparently the company that did the adaptation of it had never produced anything before. All they did was
Adness was the name.
Adness?
Adness.
Yeah, what I'd heard about it is they'd never produced anything before. They were just a distributor.
And it shows. Bam! Fuck you, Adness.
Man, you sure showed them.
Yeah!
No, I never watched it.
6 years late. Did you know, I also saw little bits and pieces of Dragon Knight, and it didn't pull me in at all because of what they did to the Ryuki plot. I just don't like Ryuki had an interesting plot to me. It had good characters, and they took that, they're like, okay, here's this Highlander plot. I'm
gonna stop you right here.
What?
You don't need to talk about Ryuki again in this fucking episode.
I'm not going deep into Ryuki. I'm just saying I'm upset that they took the Highlander plot that was, built-in good motivations and threw it out the fucking window for something about an alien warlord kidnapping people. I just... You
gotta have somebody in a dark room, spouting evilness in any...
You had Kenzaki Shiro for that! He was already there.
Hey, he was in a smoke-filled room? That's different. Let's move on to the next email.
Whoa. One last thing. Did you know they were gonna do Kabuto?
Were they?
They were gonna do Kabuto as a sequel to Dragon Knight with the same characters, or some of the same characters. It was gonna be about Knight. What was his... It was Wing Knight, I believe, in Dragon Knight was his name? Maybe. It was gonna be about American Knight joining up with American Tendo and fighting the Worm.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would like to see how they pull that shit off.
they obviously wouldn't be able to use much of the old footage. They already had all the suits, so I mean, it wouldn't be that hard.
What the fuck?
That'd be fucking crazy, though, right?
Yeah, it would. That would be like fucking putting a puzzle together, like taking two puzzles and dumping that shit out, wiping half the table off, and then trying to make a puzzle out of it.
I would like a series of actual Kamen Rider where they just cross over more than one Kamen Rider from the past, and not decade, please. like just take two.
You have alienated a good portion of our audience, I feel.
Good! No, but just like imagine if Toei did that. We're like, next season of Kamen Rider, instead of doing a new guy, we're gonna just take fucking Kiva and Agito, and we're just gonna like, oh, they meet up and they have to fight the Neo Fangires or what the fuck ever. How would you react to that shit?
I would react to it the same way I feel every American Rider fan would react to it. I would say, well, I guess Toei ran out of fucking money.
I guess. It'd be weird, but I'd like to see it as a weird experiment at the least.
Maybe that's something that could be more relegated towards, like, a movie or something. Like, if they actually put money into it and it wasn't just there for jokes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I would be behind that.
That's the problem I have with Rider movies, is they always have big crossovers, and I just want to see the Riders talk to each other instead of fighting with each other. Like, what would they have to say to each other? You know?
You got, like, tiny little glimpses of that in Heisei vs. Showa, like, with X and Phais. There was some pretty nice scenes between them out of suit.
Yeah, that's why X and Phais should have been the main characters of Heisei vs. Showa. Fuck Coda. I love you, Gakusano, but it wasn't a good movie, I'm sorry.
No, it wasn't. Can we move on to the next email now?
Yes.
Alright!
This is from a fellow named Rangolf. Great name. Hi there, Liam and Jeff. First time writer, long time listening here. I love your Kamen Rider Club radio podcast, and I always look forward to listening to your show every week. Thanks, buddy. I have a confession to make. Gaim was my first Rider show.
How dare you!
Get out! So my expectations of Kamen Rider shows are pretty different, especially when I started watching Drive. I like Drive, though, and I did watch some episodes of Black when I was like 7 or 8 years old.
Man, you're awesome.
Yeah, a lot of like South American countries got Black dubbed. Those lucky motherfuckers. So it's very popular down there. 2 questions for me, for veteran Rider fans like you. First, which Rider show would you say had the best final story arc for both Showa and Heisei? So you want to tackle that one right now?
Let's start with that one. I think Showa, the series that had the best final story arc, was Stronger.
Fuck! I was like, don't say Stronger, I want to say Stronger.
No, fucking, it was Stronger.
It was! That was going to be my thing.
Stronger has a finale that becomes fucking like Wild West Showdown.
Dude, when the Delta Army shows up...
hypest shit.
Like, not just the finale, but the whole arc with the Delta Army for like the last 10 episodes of the show is just balls to the wall. Like, Stronger and Tackle get their shit kicked around for the beginning, and it really gives a good idea of like, oh, Black Satan was pretty tough, but these guys are a whole new level, and Stronger gets beat up and kidnapped twice and barely escapes, and just, it's like a desperate struggle. Yep. It's a really good villain introduction for the Delta Army.
The shit is on the line, and the kid gloves are off.
Absolutely. It ramps up.
And when it comes to Heisei, I feel like if you've listened to this podcast before, you're going to know what I'm going to say, but it's Kamen Rider Kuga.
Of course.
Kuga's finale is... Most final showdowns between, like, the final boss and the hero are, like, full of this, like, you know, powerful, like, yeah, you fucking kick their ass, hero, you're the man, you're, like, the greatest and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And it's, like, suit versus suit, like, powerful shit. It gets you hype. The final battle in Kuga is fucking, like, emotional. Like, you're watching it, like, fighting back the tears, like, oh my god, I can't believe it! This is... Like, and it's not even just in suit. Like, this might be a bit of a spoiler or something, but they keep transitioning back and forth between them fist fighting in suit and fist fighting as just normal-ass humans. And you could see the desperation and the determination. And it's just, it's like poetry, man.
It's poetry in motion.
Poetry.
Every verse.
So that's my 2 cents about it.
Okay. For me, I haven't seen a Heisei series that I've been really satisfied with the ending of yet. It doesn't seem like their forte.
No,
but
it really isn't.
If I had to pick an arc, like the final arc, not necessarily the very ending, but the final arc, you know what I'm gonna fucking say here, it's Ryuki. Like, a lot of people don't like Ryuki's ending, and I understand. I won't go into it, but it's kind of a cheap cop-out for the show to have a happy ending. I didn't mind it as much as a lot of people, but I understand. But the arc leading up to the ending is really good, and I can't give anything away, but like it's like a, rather than a ramping up, it really works with the theme of the show, because it's more of a winding down. Like, shit gets worse and worse, and the situation gets shittier and shittier for everybody, and they're all like, wow, this is totally hopeless, and I can't say how it ends. I can't say exactly what happens. There's a lot of shit.
Well, thank you for tuning in to the Ryuki cast. Next time we'll be talking about Kamen Rider Ryuki. Thanks for listening.
I will never stop talking about Ryuki, okay? Just give it up. I'm here to stay.
Alright.
But that's that.
What about Showa?
Stronger.
Oh, you just agreeing with me?
Yeah. Black. I've already talked a bunch of shit about Black's ending and how great it is and how emotional it is with Nobuhiko, so Black's my runner-up, but number one is Stronger.
I think we like answered the second part of this question as well. Like, second question ties well with the first. Which Kamen Rider show for you guys had the most satisfying ending for the both of you? Stronger.
Stronger? Really? I don't know. Like, Stronger...
Well, it's for the both of us.
For the both of us, yeah. Is this something that we have to agree on, then?
I don't think we'll ever like, agree on anything, really.
Yeah, I know. Because it's not the best ending, but the most satisfying ending, which I believe means, like, everything wraps up and shit is, like, good. Not like Black, where it's really bitter, or Stronger, where it's really bitter, or Ryuki, where it's a fucking cop-out. Which I guess I would say, for me, satisfying... That's rough.
Man, if we're talking just being satisfied, I feel like Agito had, like, a satisfying, not conclusion, like the final episodes or, whatever, but like the final showdown there was a satisfaction to that. Because the enemy in that seemed, like, untouchable for most of the series.
It's always good in a kids show like that, in a kids action show, to have a villain that appears who is just like, fuck off, no one's gonna beat him. And then to see the hero gradually get that good, or gradually pull the upgrade out of his ass to get that good. It's satisfying when he finally, like, takes a hit,
Yeah.
It's cool.
And Randolph says, anyway, I'm looking forward to your next podcast. Cheers. Well, cheers right back to you.
Yeah, thanks for the question. We got one more.
From Cyberman Wharf again. I believe we got something from this person before.
Yeah, we did. Cyberman Wharf says, hello you guys again, thanks for responding to my email from last time. Since you asked about my idea from last time for my tabletop game from last time, the basic idea is that the main riders from each world have gone missing, and Decade gathers a bunch of other people to be riders to find out what is going on. Now, Jeff, this fucker stole my idea. You remember how I told you about this like months and months ago? I had a very similar idea.
Yeah, that was an idea that Liam had for a tabletop game. Somewhat the same idea, where Decade is like a DM character and goes around recruiting like lesser-known riders, like a ragtag team of riders, let's say. Like, you could play whatever you want.
Yeah. From
all the different worlds, and then they go to try and solve the disappearance of the other riders. So you are, like, hitting the nail straight on the head with this
Me and Cyberman Wharf, we must have some sort of, like, meta-psychic connection.
Oh, he says we don't have to say this one on the show, since he's just updating his...
Too fucking late.
You should have opened with that. No, but we absolutely appreciate any emails we get. Like, we both lose our shit with excitement anytime an email comes in.
I like hearing about people's ideas for Kamen Rider, because some of them have cool ideas.
Some of them we can steal.
Like I said, this would be a good idea to have, like, lots of different Kamen Riders interacting with each other as they get recruited one by one,
Yeah.
Got potential.
So, Liam, what do you think is going to get announced the instant we stop recording this?
The next Kamen Rider series, Kamen Rider Super Runway Man, Fashion Ultra, There's going to be like 1 billion different pictures. It's going to be the hottest news story of the year for Kamen Rider, and it's going to happen in about 10 minutes after we stop recording.
And everybody's going to be sending us tweets like, why didn't you fucking say this in your podcast? It happened that night.
No! You're too late!
Well, you know why we didn't say it? Because we're fucking idiots.
I'm still waiting for the day when we discover something while we're recording. I'm like, time to check the emails, and there'll be like an email saying like, look, Shinosuke's gonna die in the movie or whatever. Shinosuke's gonna die 12 times just like Mach.
We would spoil the shit out of that because I'd be like, holy fuck, Liam! Shinosuke's gonna die!
Look! Is that all we got for this week? I've exhausted my docket.
Yeah, I think the viewers know what a docket is now, so that's nice. It's good to teach.
It's an educational podcast. You show it to your kids.
Don't show it to your kids.
No, please don't. Don't poison them.
Show them Kamen Rider, though. I've actually heard stories in the Kamen Rider General of people showing their kids Kamen Rider and them getting into it. That sounds pretty darn neat. And it's a good way to teach a kid not only how to read, but if you let them watch some subs, you can teach them straight Japanese.
Yeah, I think about that sometimes, because I like Kamen Rider, obviously, and my lady friend has a passing interest in it. What if you show your kid Kamen Rider? What would you show them, Jeff?
What would I show them? You know what? There is this series from, I think it's the 80s, called SD Kamen Rider. It's like a cartoon series that stars like little super deformed chibi Kamen Riders going on adventures and stuff, and it's mostly comedy.
I've seen those.
And I feel like that would be a really great way to introduce like a really small child to the world of Kamen Rider. Not to mention it's just really kind of neat by itself anyway.
But how do you introduce a really small child to Kamen Rider when they're all speaking Japanese and they gotta read the subs? Wouldn't they just tune out really quick?
You read it to them. And besides, they don't really talk all that much in SD Kamen Rider.
Yeah, I suppose that could work. Yeah.
You have the downside of your kid going to school and trying to, like, tell other kids about this shit.
Maybe start them on Power Rangers.
Yeah, me and my dad were home watching fucking Kaniku Man together, and the other kids, what the fuck is that? And they're like, oh, you know, Sho Soraya is this hero who uses a fucking butter knife or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a fuzzy area showing little kids Kamen Rider. I heard of a dad once that showed he resubbed Kyoryuger and called it Power Rangers Dino Bravers, I believe, just replaced the names and the subs and showed it to his kids, and told his kids that it was a Power Ranger series from the future. And when the commercials came out for Dino Charge, the kids were like, holy shit, he was right!
He wasn't
It was
even
from the
joking!
future! Shit! That's a hilarious thing to do.
That's absolutely... You know what? 9 times out of 10, you would be absolutely right if you did that to a kid.
Unless you were the sap that picked, like, Go Busters or something.
Poor Go Busters. Man. Anyway, that's enough for the podcast, actually. Thanks for listening, everybody.
We have a Twitter at Rider Club Radio. We have an email, riderclubradio@gmail.com. Yeah, see ya.
Have a good week.